Making a 4 at the 6th, a good drive, a bad 4 woods short of the green and right, and playing an excellent pitch shot. After seeing my partner pitch it in for his birdie, I pitched mine up to within about a foot of the hole for a birdie. Then I kind of lost a little momentum at the 7th. I hit a bad shot into the right-hand bunker with a 7-iron. Had a particularly difficult lie and hit a bad bunker shot short of the green, and then I pitched it in from about 20 feet with a wedge for a par. I drove it badly at the 8th. I played a bad 2nd into the bunker, where I played a bunker shot that hit the lip of the cup and bounced away about 6 feet, making that for par. Hitting a bad 2nd at the 9th, right and long on the green, pitching it past the hole about 20 feet and making that for par.
It's 3 saves.
3 saves in a row. Then I settled back to playing steadier golf, 2-putting all the way around until the 14th, where I hit a 6-iron just left of the green, and fluffing the pitch and 2-putting for bogey. Missing the green at the 15th with a 3-iron. However, pitching that up to within a foot of the hole for par. 2-putted 16, 17, and then hitting the 7-iron to within 8 feet of the hole at the last hole, and making that for a closing birdie.
8 holes. 7 and 8 feet. 7 and 8 feet.
About 8 feet.
Score is 69, Hale.
Score of 69.
Your best of the week?
Well, hopefully it'd be getting a little better by now.
Could we have John's score so we could relate it to the team?
All right, sure. I birdied the first hole. Pitched it about 3.5 feet past the hole from in front of the green. Tapped that in for birdie. Second hole, I missed the green short of the green and hit a bad pitch and missed the putt. 2-putted the next hole. The next hole I knocked it over the green and hit a really bad pitch and 2-putted from 20 feet for bogey. Next hole I made a good save out of the bunker. I made about a 20-footer. And the next hole, the luckiest hole I've had in a long time.
That's number 6.
Yeah, I hit a bad tee shot and I had to hit a 5-iron just to try to put it out in the fairway. Then I hit a fat 8-iron down in the bottom of the hill, and the ball embedded. So I got a free left and I dropped it, and I got a pretty good lie, and I pitched the ball in the hole from about 20 yards short of the green. And the next hole I 2-putted, the next hole I 2-putted, and I made a good birdie at 9. I hit a 7-iron to about 15 feet below the hole and made that. I hit a bad shot at 10 to the right of the green and hit another bad pitch, missed the putt. Next hole I hit a 9-iron about 2 feet to the right of the hole and made
You hit a lot of bad chips this week, didn't you?
I tell you, the ball just seems to sit down in the grass, and I'm not very good at that shot, obviously. I mean, and there's really no place that I know of that you can practice that shot. And not very many golf courses. Yeah, I either chunk it or I don't really blade it. I've just, I think I just built up a negative attitude toward it all week because I started playing them bad.
It looks like you stub it, you know.
Gary Player's one of the best at that shot, and that's what he does. Chi-Chi does the same thing. He just kind of hit it like that. So maybe I'm just that's just a bad shot for me right now.
You can't kind of do it. You've got to either do it completely or go all the way through it. There's no...
John?
Yes.
You were putting for a birdie from about 8 feet, I think, one hole where a little girl started wheeling.
No, it was Hale.
That was for par. That's all right. I mean, you know, I'm not going to blame a little kid. That's not her fault.
Little kids crying is no problem.
No, that doesn't bother you.
Well,
I just looked over there because I hope she wasn't hit by a golf ball or something. You know,
familiarity or better concentration?
Well, I think all of the above. Sunday is a day that I've generally had some of my better rounds. I think it is the last day of the tournament, the day to make a move. I felt like I was in excellent position starting the day, getting off to a good start, hitting some good shots, getting 3 under very quickly. And then it was a matter not really of falling back on that, but from that point on, just making sure I didn't make the bad mistake where it would cost me a double bogey or take the unnecessary risk. I really kind of lost a little momentum at the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I just really struggled for those pars. And I think had I continued on with those 3 holes a little bit better, I would have probably gone into the back 9 with a little better frame of mind. But as it was, I wasn't backing up, but I certainly had come to a dead stop. I really didn't play quite as well the back 9, but I did hit enough good shots when I had to hit good shots to salvage an excellent round. I consider it an excellent round under the conditions. Again, we are again fighting the greens. I'd have to say that they weren't quite as bad as yesterday. It didn't seem like, but nevertheless, you just don't know from a foot if you're going to make it or not. John had a putt at the 17th hole, and he was only this far from a hole, and I tell you could see the veins popping out of his neck.
I told him, I said, hell, you better get that sucker close, because I don't know if I can handle this thing. Because I normally put my putter blade in front of the ball, but there were 2 spike marks sticking up just like that. I couldn't do it. That's illegal. And I just snuck that thing in there.
Did you find the airplane noise distracting?
What?
You got accustomed to it, didn't you, by the end of it?
To win the individual trophy as well?
Well, that was secondary. I think we come here as a team. Hopefully we score as a team. We certainly win as a team, but I think the individual didn't really honestly dawn on me until probably about the 15th hole. I was more concerned with what Scotland was doing ahead of us rather than what they were shooting. I didn't know. I think in light of the fact that this probably gets more play as a team championship than an individual championship, that is paramount. If I may just go on to say, ask you gentlemen and ladies, if there are any, to plead with the world governments. I hate to see this being a dying matter. I think John will certainly concur with this, that we are still disturbed with the fact that politics has become such an issue in the world of sport. It's something I think is deplorably wrong, and I think it's time for those that feel that way to stand up and be counted. And if there's any way that John and I would do it, we would certainly do it. That's how strongly we feel about it.
If you're going to have a World Cup, let's have a World Cup. Let's let everybody play that's got a chance, that has the teams to play.
And I would think next year, if South Africa is not invited, it would be one of the most humiliating, irresponsible acts. I think they should always be asked, regardless of their political views. The pressures that come to bear.
Yeah, but what?
I'm sure they'll be invited.
Yeah, they'll be invited. But what's the use of traveling all the way like they did to Greece, and then at the last minute they can't play? I mean, you don't want to travel all over the world just to play a couple of practice rounds in a pro-am.
Hale, are you saying that you feel the Greek government should not have yielded to the pressure that was put on them?
I'm not saying anything other than the fact I think the world opinion seems to be in favor of this type of action, whether it be against South Africa. Those of us from the United States are particularly perturbed, I think, with the situation in Iran. I think the whole system is wrong, but certainly I think we can overcome that in the world of sport. I've yet to see an individual in any country that I've visited that is not a golfer. When he's on the golf course, he's not a politician, a place we all can join hands and be one.
If you had, good theoretical matter, but if you had prior knowledge of next year, South Africa were not going to be allowed again to take part in the World Cup. You were in the United States World Cup team. Would you decline to travel to the World Cup?
It's in all probability I would. I think it's degenerate thinking, and I love the game of golf too much to see it fall into that kind of political chaos. There's no room in my life for that kind of thing. In my life, meaning that golf has been a large part of it, and it's provided great opportunities for me, both financially and otherwise. And I hate to see it succumb to that kind of pressures from the outside. I would just as soon the World Cup be disbanded as to fall into that kind of a pick and choose because of political beliefs. Other than that, my partner had a bad day yesterday, but he played all right today.
I promised you I wouldn't do that to you 2 days in a row.
I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but John and I have felt very strongly about it this week, and I think if we can just end the discussion by with what we've said, we would appreciate it if you could. Of course, it's your fancy. Do what you can, because I think it is important.
Have you ever been present, either one of you, at a place where a Gary player has been hassled by spectators?
I have not.
I can't honestly say that I have. Whether they demonstrate against the so-called team events or rather than individual events, it's moronic thinking, moronic action as far as I'm concerned, to single out an individual, or in this case 2 individuals. I think it's and I'm not advocating the political beliefs of South Africa. All I'm saying is I think it wrong that we bring in such a bias, such a prejudice to any athletic contest. So be it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Have a good time in South Africa.
You guys have a safe trip home, huh? You guys have a safe trip home.
Let's go with scissors if you won in now. I've seen you win in South Africa, England, America, Greece. How many others?
I hope they